Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into the world's most popular sport. You might call it football, you might call it soccer, but the rules are the same everywhere. And, understanding them, that's the real key to unlocking all the drama and skill you see on the pitch. It sounds so simple on the surface, doesn't it? 11 players, one ball, 90 minutes. But what turns that simple setup into the beautiful game? Well, it's all about the rules, a simple framework that governs all the flow, the fairness, and the pulse-pounding excitement. So, let's get into it. All right, so first things first. Before we get into the action, we gotta understand the basics. Who's playing and where are they playing? Okay, so each team has 11 players on the field. This number is kind of the magic formula for football, creating the perfect balance between having enough space to run and enough players to create complex strategies. 10 of those are outfield players, and you have one very specialized goalkeeper. Oh, and here's a fun fact. A team can't even play if they drop below 7 players. So yeah, every single person counts. And all this action takes place on the pitch. Now, those lines you see aren't just there for looks. They are absolutely critical. That big box near the goal, that's the penalty area. It's the only zone where the goalie can use their hands, and it's also where a bad foul can lead to a game-changing penalty kick. These zones dictate the rules. So, the stage is set. The players are in position. How does the actual game get going? Let's talk about the flow of the match, from the first whistle to the last. Every single match follows this exact same rhythm. It all kicks off from the center circle. Then you have 45 minutes of action in the first half. After that, the players get a much-needed 15-minute halftime break to catch their breath and talk strategy. Then it's another 45-minute half, usually after switching sides, before the referee's final whistle calls full time. Now, this is a really fundamental idea that keeps the game moving. The ball is always in play, unless one of two things happens. The referee blows the whistle, or the entire ball crosses the line. I mean, even if just a tiny sliver is still touching the line, the game is on. It's why the action feels so constant. Okay, but what happens when that action is interrupted? When someone breaks the rules. This is where we get into fairness and the people in charge of enforcing it. And this quote really hits the nail on the head. The rules aren't just there to punish people. They're about protecting the players and making sure that skill and strategy win the day, not just brute force or cheating. It's all about safety and fairness. So what exactly is a foul? Well, you can think of it as any move that crosses the line from being competitive to being unfair or dangerous. And it's totally up to the referee's judgment in that split second to decide if a player was making a fair play for the ball or if they broke the rules. You're going to see these fouls in pretty much every single game. The handball is the most obvious one, right? Only the goalkeeper can do that. But you'll also see things like pushing, pulling someone's shirt, or a tackle that's just too aggressive or reckless. They all get you a whistle. So to keep things in line, the ref has a pretty simple but powerful system: cards. A yellow card is basically a formal warning. It says, hey, knock it off. But a red card, that's an immediate expulsion. You're off the field and your team has to play with one less player, which is a massive, massive disadvantage. And watch out, 2 yellows in one game automatically becomes a red.
And in the modern game, there's another layer of fairness: technology. It's called VAR, the Video Assistant Referee. If there's a huge, potentially game-changing decision, like a goal or a red card, VAR can tell the ref, hey, you might want to look at this again. The ref then goes to a monitor, watches the replay, and makes the final call. The tech advises, but the human ref always has the last word.
So, all these rules, all this running, all this strategy, what's it all for? Well, it all builds towards one single electrifying moment: scoring a goal.
Now, this sounds obvious, but the definition is incredibly specific for a reason. To count as a goal, the whole of the ball has to cross the goal line. Not 99% of it, 100%. This is why you sometimes see goal line technology used to make those super close calls. It has to be all the way over.
Okay, everybody take a deep breath. We're about to tackle the offside rule. It's famous for being confusing, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. It's there to stop attackers from from goal hanging, just waiting by the opponent's goal.
Basically, when a teammate passes the ball to you, you need to have at least two opponents, usually the goalie and a defender, level with you or in front of you.
But here is the crucial, all-important detail. Just standing in an offside position isn't against the rules. It only becomes a foul if you actually get involved in the play from that position, like if the ball is passed to you or if you block a defender. So the real question is, did you use that position to gain an unfair advantage? If not, no foul.
All right, so last up, how does a match actually end? Believe it or not, it's not always as simple as the clock hitting 90 minutes. We all know a standard football match is 90 minutes long, but here's a question for you. Have you ever seen a game end at exactly 90 o'clock on the clock? Probably not. And that's totally by design. In fact, that's where some of the best drama happens.
It's called stoppage time, or sometimes injury time. The referee keeps a running tally of all the time that was wasted during the half, for injuries, for substitutions, all of it. Then they add that time back on at the end. It's their way of making sure you get a full 90 minutes of actual play, and it's why those final moments can be so unbelievably tense.
And there you have it. That's the framework of the beautiful game. The rules are the container, but it's the skill, the human drama, and the incredible moments of genius that happen inside that container that make it so special. So the next time you're watching a match, what are you going to be looking for? What new details are you going to spot?